Welcome. In this video I'm going to be taking a look at this GOKUID 2.1 channel soundbar with subwoofer. So this was provided to me by the distributor, but they're not compensating me for this video and they're not reviewing it before I post it. If you find this video helpful, I'll put a link to this in the description on Amazon, and if you use that link it helps me out a little bit and doesn't cost you anything extra. So this supports HDMI ARC, optical, coaxial, auxiliary, Bluetooth 5.0, USB, it's wall mountable, and has a deep bass subwoofer. So the specs are on the side of the box here. Power supply is AC 100 to 240 volts, 50 or 60 hertz. Output channel is 2.1, so that's 2 speakers and 1 subwoofer. Speaker driver, soundbar, 2" by 4, so there's 4 2" speakers, and 1 10" subwoofer. Frequency response is 20 Hz to 18 kHz. Signal to noise ratio is greater than or equal to 75 dB. So this supports Bluetooth 5.0, connection distance is 10 meters, 3.5mm aux, so that's an 1/8" jack. USB storage, it has USB 2.0 and 3.0, maximum 128 gigabytes, supports exFAT and FAT32, so it's nice that that supports exFAT there. It doesn't support NTFS. Optical input supports PCM, doesn't support source code, SPDIF RAW. Coaxial input, HDMI audio return channel. So this is a feature that allows you to connect your soundbar to your TV with an HDMI cable to transmit the signal digitally. So if you wanted to connect this to your TV, you have a couple different choices for digital connections. You have audio return channel, coaxial, and optical. The dimensions, the main unit 2-in-1 is 810 by 75 by 65 millimeters. Subwoofer is 250 by 110 by 350 millimeters. Then it has customer service information. This is a little big for my bench, so I'll unload it on the floor. Okay, we have the subwoofer unit in these 2 smaller boxes. Okay, this is the accessories and wires and such. These would be the sound bars here. Here are the 2 halves of the soundbar. So this has a neat feature that you can connect these up into one soundbar, like a traditional soundbar, or you can set them upright like mini tower speakers. So these have rubber feet on either side, and this is the simpler of the 2. It has one connector here. It has this little locking system here to connect the 2. And in here you can see the 2 drivers. It looks like there's a little port here. Now this is the one that has more stuff on it. I can see a little segmented display in here. On the end I see this power M button. I'm not sure what M means. Play, pause, and then we have volume, next track, previous track. So here are connection points. We have USB, auxiliary, coax, optical, audio return channel, DC in, subwoofer out. And we have these mounts here so you can mount them on a wall, and it looks like you can mount them in any orientation. So you'd put a screw in the wall and then you can hang them off of there. So this is the subwoofer. Has plastic feet. Here's a port. There's the subwoofer itself. And we have a cord in the back with an RCA cable. So that's a pretty simple unit there. Let's check out this box with everything in it. So we have a quick start guide. So it looks like it has lots of things in the box. We have the soundbar, DC adapter, coaxial cable, long audio line cable, auxiliary cable, HDMI ARC cable. I'm guessing most HDMI cables would support ARC if you use a different HDMI cable. We have aux to red and white cables, short audio line cable, and optical cable. So this talks about the different ways to connect it to your TV. So for the USB connection, it supports APE, I think that would be Apple, maybe Apple lossless, FLAC, Windows Media, Wave, MP3, and M4A, which I think would probably be AAC. And it supports exFAT, FAT32. Has Bluetooth connection. Okay, so here are the buttons we saw on the side. That M is for mode, and then the other buttons were play, pause, and your next, previous, and your audio. So it says short press for the next song, long press for volume, and the same with the other. You short press for previous song and long press for volume. And here we have remote control. So we have similar controls. You have power on off, mode, mute, volume up, pause, previous, next, volume down, DSP, so we have treble up and bass up, treble down, bass down, and 3D. So that would be like a simulated surround, I'm guessing. So let's look at these cables. We have HDMI, we have optical. So if your devices have optical, that would be a good option to use. Here are the bases here. Here are some foam rubber pads. Those might be to pad the back when you push it up against the wall so it doesn't rattle. Some screw anchors. So these are some RCA cables. This one I'm guessing would be if you link the bars together, you can use a short cable to connect them. And this one you'd use if they're spread apart. Here's the coaxial cable. So some systems will send digital audio through this, like a lot of TVs will have that. This has been around a long time, I know, but I think optical is probably more common these days. Here's an 1/8" stereo cable, and here's a splitter type cable. So you could plug this into the back of something with RCA outputs, like a VCR maybe, if you still have a VCR, and then you could plug that into the soundbar. Here's the power adapter. So the output on this is 18 volts at 2 amps. Here's the remote control. It doesn't come with batteries, but it takes 2 AAA batteries. And here's the user manual. So it has a quick start guide and a user manual. So it looks like this talks about 3D surround, the different sound effects, the remote, Bluetooth. I was correct in that you use the short cable to connect it up like a soundbar and the long one if you use them separately. Okay, so I'm going to set this up and we'll check it out. Okay, I have this all connected up. I've turned it on with the remote. I'll change the mode and it's showing up on my phone as the GOKUID 100. Okay, so we're connected. I'll go into my audio. I'll play it. Okay, so it's playing on the speaker. I can turn the volume up. So it looks like 32 is the highest. 0 is the lowest. Okay, that wasn't super loud, but I didn't have the volume turned up on my phone. When I turned the volume up on my phone, it got really loud. So I can go to next track. So that's going to switch the track on my phone. I just realized I didn't have this thing connected. So this is what that looks like on the back. And then I currently have the power and the subwoofer connected. That's much better sounding. Okay, I'm going to set this up in the tower configuration. So these feet will go on like this. You just give them a little turn. Okay, here they are in the vertical orientation. Sorry, my desk is a little messy here. So the segmented display is over here, and the buttons are here. Or of course you can use the remote, which is probably the easier option. So if you're using this like a traditional soundbar, you can put it under your TV. If you're not using it like a traditional soundbar, you could say put these on bookshelves or something and separate them out a little bit more. And of course you can connect this up to just about anything. You can hook it up to a TV, computer, CD player, DVD player. You could plug an iPod into this, or you could just plug your phone in with a jack or do Bluetooth. There's so many options to plug this in. So I'm going to rearrange things here. I'm going to get my 32-inch TV and I'll show how to hook it up to that. Okay, so I have a TV here and I have the soundbar behind the TV just to get them both in frame, but it will actually go on either side of the TV. So I'll take the optical cable and I'll plug it into the soundbar. The other end will go into the digital audio out optical. So that's the optical connection. Now I'll need to turn this around and then we'll make sure it's connected properly. Okay, so I'll turn on the TV. I'll turn on the soundbar. I'll hit the mode on the soundbar. So we have opt. So it says OPT or optical. So I don't know that I have anything on the TV to connect to. So let's just go into menu. You want to go to sound. First off, you should just check and see if it works. But if you have trouble, go into your sound menu, and every TV is going to have a similar menu like this. And go to your digital audio out. And you can see here it says PCM, and that's what we want. So let me see if I can find something to play on here. Okay, I found some music. There it's coming out of the sound bars. So since that's an optical connection, you're going to have a pure digital signal going between the TV and the soundbar. You can do the same thing with HDMI, ARC, and coaxial. So on this remote, we can also change the treble and bass. So you can press treble up, bass down. It also has a 3D mode. So this is 3D mode off. This is on. It may be hard to pick up in the microphone here because it's not actually pointed at these speakers, but it gives it a little more depth with the 3D mode. Now if you press in between the treble plus and bass plus, there's DSP, and that has different modes. It has classical, rock, pop, jazz, line, club, dram, hall, soft, and flab. I'm not sure what dram or flab is off the top of my head, but that will change the sound stage. I forgot to mention, if you do use the HDMI ARC, a lot of TVs will have an ARC port. So when you look on the back of your TV, look for the one that says HDMI ARC and then connect to that specific port. So that's the GOKUID 2.1 channel soundbar with subwoofer. I really like the versatility of this, where you can have a traditional soundbar or you can do the mini towers. So maybe you have this in a bedroom and then you want to move it to a living room. In the bedroom you're using the soundbar, but in the living room you have a little more space. You can move these these further apart to have better sound separation. This also has a lot of inputs in it. It has the optical, the coaxial, the HDMI, ARC, those are all digital. It has auxiliary, which is analog. It'll also connect up to Bluetooth, which connects it up to a lot of different devices. And you can put a thumb drive in it with your music on it. So you could even use one of these tiny little thumb drives to put your music on. So that's all I'm going to cover in this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you like this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate it if you could do that. And thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.